Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we'll be taking a look at Andrade officially breaking his silence on his WWE release request, Triple H possibly dealing with a sickness, and much more. Let's start things off with the latest update on Andrade. News first broke out last week that Andrade has put in his request to be released from WWE, and it obviously made headlines. Of course, it was just all rumors at the time, and obviously the dirt sheets and reports can't be trusted all the time. But with this specific situation, it appears that they were telling the truth. Andrade broke his silence about his request to be released and said that all the rumors were in fact true. He had this to say on Twitter: "The rumors are true, and I don't know what the future holds, but I want to make my dreams come true. Thank you for giving me so much support these last days." So there's the official confirmation that Andrade himself made. Obviously, he doesn't have much to lose by going public about his release request. He's already been at home since October, so it's not like they can punish him by taking him off TV. So he just put the word out there and said that the rumors are true. This is something that we've seen former WWE superstars do in the past. They'll go on Twitter and publicly comment on the fact that they have requested their release. Maybe they feel like the added pressure from all the fans, and that the fact that the word is out there will really put the pressure on WWE to grant the release. With the superstars going to Twitter and publicly commenting that the WWE won't grant them their release, it sort of paints WWE as the bad guy and gives the superstars more support from the public. So maybe that's the main idea behind this strategy of going public with a release request. Like other reports claim, it doesn't appear that WWE will be granting Andrade his WWE release that easy. Andrade isn't a nobody. Andrade is a top talent that will instantly make a heavy impact in whatever company he lands in, and it appears that WWE is fearful of where he might end up at, possibly AEW. So Andrade is way too gifted and talented to be granted his release overnight. And that's not going to happen with someone who has his amount of talent. This is likely going to be a long process, and it's possible that Andrade will sit out for a while longer until they figure out what they're going to do with him. AEW's Jim Ross recently commented on the situation with Andrade as well. He had this to say: "I'm surprised that during this climate that people are asking for their release. I don't know who else, maybe or not, I don't know. You damn sure don't want to ask for a release unless you've got somewhere to go and where you can establish some stability, financial security. I don't know if he has that or he doesn't have that. So I don't know. I hope he has thought it through, and I'm not surprised that WWE refused it because that allows him to not make him happy or another company happy. And they don't care if he sits home till his contract is over. If you're going to dig yourself a hole, be ready to step in it." And I think that's what he's done. He's played those cards. His biggest card right now in the deck is the fact that his significant other is one of WWE's greatest talents, and that does carry some weight. Jim Ross also talked about how WWE rejecting Andrade's release is more proof that WWE is well aware of AEW. So like Jim Ross said, they don't care. They'll just have him sit out the rest of his contract, and he'll have to wait until his contract officially expires. He's their talent. He signed for whatever amount of years. WWE owns the rights at the time being, so they decide if he sits or gets released. We'll have to see how this story continues to unfold for Andrade. In other news, the Capitol Wrestling Center, WWE Performance Center, was unfortunately dealing with another massive outbreak this week. The main roster doesn't suffer from that many outbreaks, but the Performance Center is constantly dealing with this issue from time to time. This is probably their third or fourth outbreak so far. It was even reported earlier Wednesday morning that there were no real solid plans for NXT because of all the talent that had to stay home and quarantine. There's been a few noticeable superstars that have been missing over the last few days. The first one being Reginald. We've been talking about it over the last few weeks, but the Sasha Banks vs. Bianca Belair feud has basically turned into a triple threat story since Reginald is constantly involved in their feud. The fans noticed that Reginald was nowhere to be seen this past Monday on Raw with Nia Jax and Shayna. Reginald obviously has one big role in the Sasha and Bianca storyline, and he was supposed to be at ringside this Friday on SmackDown and Sunday at Fastlane. So we'll see if he's there. Maybe if he missed Raw for an unrelated reason, but fans have been worried about him. The other big talent whose health and status is unknown is Triple H. Reports claim that Triple H has missed Raw and NXT this week. Obviously, NXT is Triple H's entire life right now. He's not missing a single episode unless he absolutely has to, and he wasn't there this week. Maybe it's just a simple precaution or just a quarantine, but fans have also been worried about Triple H's status as well. Thankfully, the main roster and NXT are kept well apart, especially when outbreaks like this take place. This is the exact same reason why Raw Underground came to an end. There was even more reports that claim Vince McMahon and WWE are cracking down on WWE superstars that are being a little too reckless and irresponsible during their personal time. They just want to keep everyone safe. There's some WrestleMania reports that claim everyone will get their temperatures checked before entering Raymond James Stadium for WrestleMania 37 as well. So they're really gearing up for the return of live fans, and this year's WrestleMania will make history as the biggest live event to take place in the United States since the beginning of 2020. SmackDown has a lot of great non-title feuds going on at the moment, one of those feuds being Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. It's great for Cesaro because he recently turned babyface and could use a really strong, credible opponent like Seth Rollins. And it's great for Seth Rollins because he's just coming back and needed something new and refreshing to do as well. It appears that this feud is leading to a singles match at WrestleMania, which will be Cesaro's first singles match at WrestleMania. Cesaro had this to say when speaking with TalkSport. To have a build, to have people excited for it, to have a good wrestling match, it's the whole package. It gets me excited just talking about it. Seth Rollins quoted the Cesaro interview, but was in full character for his response to Cesaro. He had this to say: Cesaro is a coward, used to be a really good friend, and now look at him. Turned down my help, and now wants to ride my coattails into WrestleMania. Huge waste of potential, doesn't deserve my consideration. Vince was right about him. Can't carry my boots, don't at me. Hashtag embrace the vision. I'm a main event. I try to help Cesaro not once, but twice. He embarrassed me and patronized me. For being a non-title feud, this match has a lot of attention and hype around it. Seth Rollins and Cesaro one-on-one at WrestleMania in front of nearly 50,000 fans. Sounds very exciting. And like Cesaro said, it's really the whole package. They have the story going. We still have Murphy sort of hanging around. We don't know if WWE will pair Rollins and Murphy back together, or if Murphy will go and do his own thing. So that'll be another element to keep an eye on during this feud for sure. But what are your thoughts on today's news? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.